Hi, this is Abdul Aziz Khan with my today's news headlines. So now peaceful protest in US, mostly in all major big cities, but this time the good thing that these were quite peaceful and but still police is doing whatever they generally do. A woman was body slammed by police officers. So the thing which needs to be stopped is still not stopping. So that's why there is a growing call to defund the police. Even in Minneapolis, they asked the mayor to fully abolish the police. They said that the municipalities should completely defund the police, and the same fund they should use in the neglected areas to build and to improve the areas so the crime should by itself the crime should go down. So this is a kind of murmur which is getting some voice in a lot of US cities that they say that if police is brutal, then why don't we just uh, completely finish this department? And let's see. This is, I think, it's not very much practical, but this is something which is now surfacing in most of the US cities. So White House wanted 10,000 active duty troops for protesters. So at one side they are saying that you should defund the police and they need 10,000 active duty people. So one Mormon church is looking to crack into China. They want to open a church building in Shanghai. I don't think that China should agree that easily. So China has put a building code that no taller than 500 meters and no plagiarism. So if you want to build a skyscraper, it should not go beyond 500 meters, which is good. I also feel that these high buildings they have a high cost of utilities as well. So there is no good. I mean, 500 meters is still a very fine number. So the police officers who assaulted the 75-year-old man yesterday, the video went viral. Now they say that they are not guilty. And the prosecutor charged police inspector instead of protesters. So there are some mix and match. Some you can say that some prosecutors, some people, they are really following this point that police use sometimes very excessive or extra brutalism. But can this lead to a full defunding of police? Can the cities survive without any police? This is also another point, I mean, another big thing. So, uh, something in between should be found and it should be worked upon. That how I think the main issue is that there should be laws and police should be told very simply that what can they do and what they cannot. So if they are found to go and they don't follow this guidelines completely, then they should be simply charged like a normal man. So because what happens is that because these things are also quite vague. So sometimes police they do something and then they say that we were asked to do and then all the confusion started. So huge anti-racism protest in across US, even some part of Canada as well. So these two persons are charged for that elderly guy. In Brazil, the fatalities are going very high, so they have said that they should not report the full number. They will only report the daily numbers so that because the full number is very high now, so they want to stop people from getting panicked. Because if you show a very big number every day, then it also has a mental effect. So they will just provide a daily number that today how many people they died, but they will not provide the cumulative number. So I think it should have some kind of good the mental pressure on some people should be lowered because of this. So Chinese says that things are getting fine, and even they are calling their university students back as well. So everything is almost now back in China, and they just put one US picture as well to show that the things in US are not fine. So now, like Shanghai, the nightlife is again started, and group wedding ceremonies have started. So you can say that China is almost fully back on track. But other countries like Italy, Egypt, India, everywhere there is still a big problem. But China is almost back on its normal track. So Al Jazeera also taking because this US peaceful protest, they have been on the main media. So global death toll is almost 400,000 now. So quite a big number now. But apart from that, general normal things are almost the same. No big difference anywhere. Writers also don't have any big story. Part of history calm prevails at protests. So protests are peaceful now, which is, I think, a good thing. I mean, this peaceful protest has more value than the violent protest because violent protest makes look both sides as bad. But as in a peaceful protest, only one side looks really bad, and so here we can see that almost 400,000 people are dead by now. But the recoveries are also good. I mean, almost 3 million people have recovered. So we can see that it's not very bad. So OPEC and Russia extend record oil cuts to end of July. So they want to bring the prices to normal as soon as possible. So and the prices are also getting better day by day. So apart from this, I think there are Jaguar raises 705 million loan from Chinese banks. So something happening in the business market as well. So PG&E Corp preparing 11 billion debt financing investors. Okay, so they are looking for people to give them $11 billion. So today, protest in the US, a peaceful protest this time. So it's a kind of good news. So see you tomorrow with tomorrow's news channel. Goodbye.